Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with your Hollywoke hot take. Hollywoke, the sequel to Wokistan. I'm editing it now. Hope to have it done before the end of the week. Wanted to get it done this weekend. I got through the rewrite. Wasn't much of a rewrite. I had to just sort of read through it and check things. But now I'm feeding it through Grammarly. So that's not as quick as I thought it would be. Well, we'll see what I'll get done tonight. I think I'm like 5 chapters in. But speaking of Hollywoke, actor Kumail Nanjiani, Trump going to kill as many people as he possibly can on his way out. Yeah. What the hell, man? I mean, there used to be a time when we heard people say these things and they were holding a squeegee, standing in the middle of the street, pissing themselves, and we'd throw them a buck and drive our merry way. Now they're in movies and TV shows and they get articles all over the internet. Why? Why? Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Does he just hate people? Are you that TDS? I mean, comedian actor. Well, doesn't he sound hilarious? And Democratic activist Kumail Nanjiani is claiming that President Donald Trump is going to kill as many people as he possibly can on his way out, ignoring the progress the White House has made in finding a vaccine for the Chinese coronavirus. Why? This is November 16th, by the way. This isn't like, this is today. This just came out today. Here's November 13th. He gets to act like a toddler because people around him treat him like one. People are dying because he won't face reality. The stakes could not be higher. We had 160,000 new cases yesterday. Each day is worse than the last. People are dying. I mean, dude, did you look at the death rate? Okay, the cases are up in New Jersey. They went from like 100 cases to 3,000. And the death rate is basically the same, within 5 to 10. Within 5 to 10. And if they were being honest about the death rate, it actually would have been 0 for several weeks and went up to, say, like 5. That would be the actual rate, if they were being honest. But they're not being honest. On top of the fact that the flu has magically disappeared and we got more cases, even though flu season's here or coming. Now, isn't that odd? But then again, he's not a scientist. I wouldn't expect him to understand that. I wouldn't expect him to understand viruses. But I also wouldn't expect him to be tweeting all day about politics. It'd be nice if Hollywood could get back to work so people could go see movies again and he'd have something to do other than to sit on Twitter all day. Let's win both seats in Georgia. I am involved with this organization that distributes money to a group of the most effective black and brown-led community organizers with a proven track record in Georgia. If you're able to do so, donate. Okay. I mean, look. Your TDS is very strong. Personally, I think, again, for all you people out there who have gone over the edge with TDS, one of two things will happen. Either when all this is over, you'll fade into obscurity, or you'll be backpedaling, deleting tweets, saying you didn't really mean it, coming out with articles saying that you went too far, you did have TDS. This will be the future of, I think, a lot of Hollywood people. They're, you know, and I'm talking 2 to 4 years from now when Trump is pretty much done his tenure here. You know, assuming they don't take to the streets and get arrested or hurt in the coming immediate riots. And speaking of TDS, John Oliver John Oliver on Trump's refusal to concede, absolutely unforgivable. Well, thank you, person who wasn't a citizen of this country. Um, you know, one thing I'd like to ask John Oliver, why did he become a dual citizen? Do you hate the UK? I know why you did. It's because the money you make will be taxed less if you're a U.S. citizen. You have a great universal health care in the UK. And yet, I think you're probably taking your money and paying the U.S. taxes and not the UK taxes. That would be my guess, is why you're a dual citizen. Yep, it's to save a boatload of money, so the NHS doesn't get it. But setting that aside for the moment, who are you to tell us, American citizens, what the president can and cannot do? We already know Al Gore, who didn't even want to contest the election, but was forced to by his supporters. I was not one of his supporters. I didn't vote for him. I voted for Ralph Nader, but I wanted him to contest the election because he won. And no one in the media said boo about it. They didn't call Al Gore. They didn't say Al Gore is his refusal to concede is absolutely unforgivable. No. They begged him. Oh, don't concede, Al. Don't concede. Then Michael Moore made a movie lambasting Al Gore for conceding, and that not one person in the Senate, not one Democrat stood up. Even as the House members stood up and said, this is an outrage. We didn't lose the election. The election was stolen. Where were the Democrats, John? Oh, but you know that Trump is somehow a terrible person for following legal procedures. It is perfectly legal for him to do this. The media does not call the election. And, and this is not even an American newspaper. It's the freaking Guardian, chastising us about how we do things. Did we chastise you about Brexit? I don't think we did. I'm all about Brexit, by the way. I'm glad it happened. Hooray. You guys got trounced on Brexit. Why don't you take some of the money that you made and go fight that in your home country? Why are you mucking around in our political system? You're new. And I think you don't know what you're talking about. The president has a legal right to do this. All the way up to January 20th. And there is evidence. We've seen it. There's been numerous reports on it. Oh, but I know the news outlets you listen to say it's bunk. Okay, prove it. Prove that it's bunk. Show us the evidence. We're gathering the evidence on our side. There's a lot of evidence. And if that evidence pans out, then Trump will be president and you will have to eat your words. Assuming you even have a show after this display. I, for one, would never, ever support your show in any way. Same thing with the other comedian who came out at a Daily... I believe they both came out at a Daily Show, if I'm not mistaken. Kumail did. I think he was one of the correspondents for a short time. I wouldn't see one of your movies. I'm not going to watch one of your TV shows. And I think we should boycott your sponsors whenever possible. I think this is what we need to do with media. We need to defund it. We need to defund it and strangle the money. Cut the money off completely, 100%, until these people cannot get work anymore. That's my opinion. I'm not going to give them my money, that's for sure. I unplugged my TV a while ago. So, you keep doing what you're doing. Keep screaming for Biden. Because even if he manages to get his rigged, sorry, wrinkly butt into the White House, you will then be spending 4 years defending all his terrible policies. Oh, and I already can hear it now. You know, it's all about, well, all the damage Trump did. You know, Biden is just, he's really trying. He's really trying. But Trump dug such a deep hole. Oh, in critical race theory, well, some MAGA people still won't accept it. Oh, right. Critical race theory. The theory that you, as a white cis male, John, have privilege. Perhaps it's time you step down so a person of color and of different orientation take your job. Wouldn't that be fair and equitable? I mean, you have so much money. Perhaps it's time for you to step down. You've made enough.